All right, welcome. I've just started to record this session. We are doing a seventh grade live lesson for language arts where we are going to talk about 101 and 1.02. This is our first live lesson of the year, and I'm super excited to see you guys all here. So let's do a sound check first. We've got about 17 of us in here. Let's give me a big smiley face if you can hear me and you can see the board where it says 7th grade lessons 1.01 and 1.02. Big smiley face. Fabulous. Okay, my rockstar 7th graders, let's go over a couple of ground rules before we get started. I like how you guys are just giving me one smiley face, not 5 million. Okay, so when I ask for a smiley face or thumbs up, go ahead. That helps me figure out if you're paying attention and that you understand what we're going over. But I don't need a million of them, just one will do. Okay. In the chat box, we are here to learn and go over language arts. So please stay focused on the material that we are going over. If you want to chat with your friends, you're welcome to do that offline on your phones, things like that, okay? But right now we're focused, and it does get really distracting to other people if you're doing side conversations in the chat. And that's when I use my magic button and I turn off the chat. Okay? So we should have pulled up on your computer. You should also have language arts, lesson 1.01, and your notes in front of you. Questions before we begin? Awesome. Okay. Give me, let's see. If this is your first time with Lee Virtual, why don't you go ahead and wave to us? If it's your first time with Lee Virtual, wave to us. I have a lot of my returning students. Hi, Mason. Hi, Javier. Hey, Laura. Hi, Nicole. Hey, Abby, Braylon. Awesome. Okay, so those of you, welcome to Lee Virtual. We're super glad that you're here. I have a lot of students that have been with me last year too, so they kind of know how this goes. So they might jump in and answer questions as we go too, which is awesome. This is a really good group of students. I love my 7th graders. My returning students from last year, you'll find that the lessons really are similar to last year. They just go more in depth. So Module 1 is kind of an overview and a review. Module 2 will be writing, and Module 3 will be narrative writing. And that will bring us to the end of segment 1, which will be in December, okay? So you should also have your pace charts. And give me a thumbs up if you all have a schedule and know what lessons are due in all of your classes this week. So thumbs up if you have a schedule and you know what's due in all of your classes this week. Fabulous. You are, for a Monday morning at noon, I guess it's Monday afternoon now, you're one step ahead of everyone if you know what's due in all of your classes. So good job, guys. All right, let's move on to language arts. Okay, so pull up 1.01, and I want you to go to the second page of 1.01 where it has your objectives. Okay, Christine, we want to focus on language arts right now, okay? 1.01, Mysteries that Change History. After completing this lesson, you will be able to, here are your objectives, analyze interactions between individuals, events, and ideas in a text, read and comprehend literary nonfiction. Okay, so in all of your classes, not just in language arts, you have objectives. So when I start a lesson and I go to take notes, I take my objectives and I turn those into questions, because then I know what I'm supposed to figure out for that lesson. So how can you rephrase these objectives into a question? So we have 2 objectives. Analyze interactions between individuals, events, and ideas in a text. So how can you rephrase that into a question? Good job, Katie. Exactly. How can I analyze interactions between individuals, events, and ideas in a text? Okay, Rebecca, the second page of the lesson. What about the second one? Read and comprehend literary nonfiction. What can you do to rephrase the second objective into a question? How can I know it's okay, Emma. How can I read and comprehend literary nonfiction? Or do I read and comprehend literary nonfiction? Perfect. So when you go to do 1.01, the top of your page should say 1.01, Mysteries that Change History, and then you should have these two questions. How do I analyze interactions between individuals, events, and ideas in a text? And do I or how do I read and comprehend literary nonfiction? Am I able to, Mason? That would be good too. Okay. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to go back and answer those questions. Okay. Thumbs up if you understand that. Thumbs down if you're lost. And if you're lost, it's okay. Remember, you can always stay at the end and we can go over this together. And this is good for all of your classes, not just language arts. Because as my big 7th graders, you guys are no longer my babies, you're my 7th graders now, so we need to become a little more independent in our note taking and really go through and use our objectives. Awesome. Okay, so for 1.01, we have turned our objectives into a question. And now, this is kind of the gist, and I took this directly from the lesson. So it says, mysteries come in many forms. Whether a scientist, a soldier, or a student spelunker, it is within anyone's ability to unlock secrets and have an effect on the world. Who knows? The next person to do it may even be you. Right? So you can see that what we're reading about in 1.01, it's a general introduction, and it talks about mysteries and what you can do to have an effect on the world. Nicole, this could be in like the 3rd or 4th page, but you're going to go back and you're going to reread this lesson. I'm giving you guys a general overview of what you're going to do this week, and then I expect you to go back and read the lesson and take your notes. Okay. And then at the end, for 1.01, it says mysteries surround us, solve one, and you can change the world. And it talks about events, ideas, and people. Now you'll find when you do 1.01, you guys, it's pretty simple. It is an overview that has a quiz with it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time during my live lesson going over it because 1.02 goes into more detail and I want to spend more time going through 1.02 with you. So for 1.01, you guys are going to go through and you're going to, hopefully when we get off the live lesson, depending on what your schedule is for today or tomorrow, you're going to go back to 1.01, read the lesson, finish the activities in the lesson, make sure you answer those objective questions, and then you're going to go to 1.01 and complete the quiz. Where do we go to find the quiz? So you've gone back, you've taken all your notes, you've answered your objective questions. Where do you go to complete the quiz? Yay, gradebook. So yes, you can go through assessments, but I want you to get in the habit of going through gradebook. Why is it better to go through gradebook? Not necessarily faster, but that's a good guess. Oh, you can see your grade. That's true. Why else? Good job, Melissa. You can't redo an assessments. So how many times can you retake a quiz? 3. Good job. Okay. So you all know the answer. That was awesome, guys. So you take 1.01 and let's pretend that you don't do well on it. If you don't do well on the quiz, what are the steps for retaking it? So you don't do well on 1.01, what are the steps for retaking a quiz? Good job, Emma and Katie, awesome. Melissa, yay. Okay, look at what you did wrong. I would definitely review the questions I didn't get right. I would reread the lesson. I would add to my notes, review the lesson, and then I would go back through gradebook and take the quiz. Okay? So you can do that up to 3 times. If after that 3rd time, oh yes, review the live lesson. Good job, Rebecca. The questions do change when you redo them, Melissa, but the idea is the same. Okay? So if it's main idea or theme, hopefully you'll go back and review that. If you've taken it 3 times and you've watched the live lesson and you've reviewed, please give me a call or send me a text so I can help you. Okay? But I don't want you to just take it 3 times in a row because that's not learning. And what we want you to do is to master the concept. Okay? But it's really important that we go through gradebook and not assessments because gradebook is where you go to retake the quizzes. So I want you guys to get in the habit of going through gradebook. And it's also nice because you can see what your grade is. All right. Questions on 1.01. I know I breezed through that, but I want you guys to go back and really focus on 1.01 on your own. It's kind of an introduction. Okay, so we are going to go on to 1.02. Give me a smiley face if you're good and you know that you need to go back and do 1.01 on your own and take notes. Fabulous. Okay. So what we are going to focus on the most today is 1.02 because 1.02 has a written component and I want you all to understand that. 1.02, yes. 1.01 and 1.02 are due today, due Friday. So we are going to focus on 1.02. After completing this lesson, so here we are back to the objectives for 1.02. If you want to open it up in Educator, you can go to the 2nd page of 1.02. And we have our objectives. After completing the lesson, you should be able to find a theme in a story, a song, or other work of art, explain whether a theme is explicit or implicit, express a theme in a clear sentence, connect a theme to your own life. So how can you rephrase the objectives into a question? Use the questions to guide your notes for the lesson. All right, guys, stay focused. So you can do can I find a theme in a story or song or other work of art? Do I or how can I explain whether a theme is explicit or implicit? Okay. How do I connect a theme to your own life? If I or how can I? Very good. Adeline, if you've worked ahead, you don't need to. It does help though if you have questions. Good. So for 1.02, you guys are so quick. You've got it. You know how to take these objectives and turn them into questions. And this 1.02 is actually one of my favorite lessons that we do, one of my favorite assignments. So I think you guys will really enjoy 1.02. You're pretty familiar with theme, but let's review. So what is theme? Theme is a message about people or life that the author wants you to discover. A theme is not a word or topic. It is a complete sentence. A theme makes a comment that can relate to anyone's life. Good. I like that Ariel and Melissa, you both put that, and Ben, that it's a life lesson. Yes. Let's take that a little deeper this year since we're big 7th graders now. And I want you to know that a theme, look at the second 2. It's not a word or a topic. It's a complete sentence. And it's a comment that can relate to anyone's life. Okay, so yes, you're right. The theme is a life lesson. It's a message. You guys have that. I'm super proud of you. Let's develop that a little bit more and talk about this year how the theme is not a word or topic. It's a complete sentence. And it makes a comment that can relate to anyone's life. So the subject could be about friendship, but the theme could be about friends are there for you during tough times. And that can relate to anyone. Life lesson or moral? No, it's different from a moral. Moral is more of a life lesson. Theme is more a message that the author wants you to discover. They are similar, though. So when we're going through 1.02 and you're taking your notes, or if you've taken your notes already, which is awesome, make sure that you're highlighting and you're focusing on that the theme is a complete sentence and it can relate to anyone's life. Questions on that? Thumbs up if you're good, thumbs down if you want me to go into more detail on that one. And remember, you can stay at the end if you're stuck. Middle? Okay. So the theme of, I'm trying to think of a good theme. Of what? Okay, Wonder. A lot of you saw the movie Wonder or read the book Wonder. What would the theme of Wonder be? Okay, so what's the theme of Wonder? Don't judge a book by its cover. Good. Good job, Abby. Same as Beauty and the Beast. So Beauty and the Beast, don't worry about what people think of you. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Don't judge a book by its cover. You can see that's a message about life that the author wants you to discover. It's not just a word, it's a complete sentence. And it can relate to anyone's life. So those themes like Melissa's and Rebecca's and Emma and Abby, those themes, those are great. Mason, you too, Javier, those are complete sentences that makes a comment that can relate to anyone's life. So that's what theme is. Does that help? Smiley face if that helped. Yay. Good. Good questions, guys. Okay. Implicit and explicit themes. And this should be a review. An implicit theme is suggested by the story. An explicit theme is written word for word in the story. What's the example that I always do for an explicit theme, guys? Who remembers? Implicit theme is suggested. Explicit theme is directly stated. Exit sign. If it's explicit, it's like an exit sign. You can see it right there. Okay? So implicit is implied. You have to kind of dig into it a little more. Explicit, it's written word for word. So if you see an exit sign, it's right there. It's not hidden. An exit sign, remember explicit and exit sign, because they're written word for word. They're directly stated. I should have put a picture of an exit sign. Sorry, guys. Next time. So implicit, implied, suggested. Explicit, right there in front of you, directly stated. Okay. Questions on implicit versus explicit? Okay. If you're confused in that, remember you are still going back and you are rereading 1.01 and 1.02 if you have not read those yet and taking notes. But make sure that you have theme and implicit and explicit themes in your notes. Awesome. Okay, so this is kind of the recap, and I took this right from the lesson. Okay. What is a theme? And you'll see the chart talks about stories, books, poems, songs, and movies contain life lessons called themes. You can learn from these themes and apply them to your own life, past, present, and future. Themes are expressed in a single sentence. Example, everyone deserves to be treated fairly. Teamwork can create success, never give up. Those are each examples of themes. Explicit theme, an author or character tells you the theme word for word. Implicit theme, you uncover the theme suggested by the story. Since you guys are now my big 7th graders, you're probably going to run into more implicit themes because you have to dig more into the literature to get the answer. Okay, but you might come across some explicit themes too. And when we look at explicit themes, we're thinking of exit signs where it's right there in front of you. Yes, they are more challenging, but as long as you can back up your theme by the details from the story, you'll be fine. You got it. You're smart, guys. You can handle this. 7th graders are awesome. Okay, so if you are following along in your lesson, I want you to go to the assignment right now for 1.02. But I copied and pasted it, and it is right in front of you. Yes, you'll have more reading. Reading as a class? No. Will you be reading more in this class? Yes. Okay, so let's look at 1.02. What is theme? You will write a paragraph analyzing the theme in your favorite song. Okay, that's okay, Maya. Let's stay focused, guys. View the grading rubric before submitting. This is your guide to a super submission. And if you're looking on your lessons, you can see that that's like an orange. So if that's in orange, okay, guys, I'm about to turn off the chat because I want everybody to pay attention. So give me just a minute. Okay. So let's look at this assignment. So in the lessons 1.02, it will say view the grading rubric, and the grading rubric will be highlighted in like an orange color. Anytime you see that orange or that yellow, it's a hyperlink. So you should click on it. And when you click on the grading rubric, that will tell you exactly what you need to do in order to get 100 on the assignment, in order to do well. Okay? So look at the grading rubric. Do you have to print out the rubric? No. But you should look at it so you know that that's what a super submission is. And anytime you see anything that's orange, it's hyperlinked, so click on it. So this is the directions for the assignment. Number 1, select your favorite song or poem. Okay, so think of your favorite song or poem. Copy and paste your song or poem into a document. So go to your Google Docs, copy and paste the lyrics or the words for your poem into the document. On the same document, write a paragraph explaining the theme of the song or poem. In your paragraph, state the title of your song or poem and the author. So that should be your first sentence. State the theme of the piece. Explain whether this theme is explicit or implicit, and here's a key thing, why. So explicit or implicit and why. Those are your details. Provide an example of how the theme relates to your life. Save your work to your computer or drive as a PDF. Submit your work in 1.02, what is theme in the gradebook. Your key things that I want you guys to know is that in order to do well on this assignment, I need to have the song or the poem. That's the first thing on the document. Underneath that needs to be a paragraph that explains what the theme is. The first sentence, go look right at number 4. That first sentence should be the title of your song or poem, the author. Then you should say the theme. The next sentence should explain why the theme is explicit or implicit and why. And that can be 1 to 2 sentences. And then provide an example of how the theme relates to your life. Of course, as always, you're saving it as a PDF and then uploading it through the gradebook for 1.02. Okay, Ariel, give me just a minute. I see your hand raised. So, really fun assignment. One of my absolute favorites because I learn a lot about you guys. What questions do you have now? All right. If you have questions, you can hang out. But remember, this is due by Friday. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. Just making sure. Awesome. Just checking. Nicole, hang out, and I'll go over how to submit at the end, okay? Okay. If you need questions on submitting, hang out. Yes, and sometimes it's laggy, it's computer. Okay. Do you have a specific time to complete it by on Friday? 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock on Friday. Let's see. Okay. So, reminders. This is what you need to do now. Fill out the Google form for attendance, and I'm going to put that in the link in just a minute. Collaboration. We are going to worry about collaboration in like October, and you'll get collaboration points for attending live lessons. Okay, so I know it's the first thing in the grade book. Just ignore it for right now. Okay. Live lesson next Monday at noon, same time and place. Grace period ends next Friday the 31st. Please, please be on pace and passing in all of your classes. And if you need help, you can call or text me. The Google form I just put in the chat box. In order to get credit for attending, I need you to fill out the Google form. You put your name and you answer like 3 questions on it. Okay? So make sure you fill out the Google form to get credit for being here. Questions. All right. Yes, fill out the Google form now. All right. If you are good and you have done everything you need to do, fill out the Google form and you may leave. Okay? If you need to stay to go over questions, then you may stay. I'm going to put the Google form in again. So do the Google form. Elena, I know, just give me a minute. Okay, do the Google form. And you may leave if you're good. Ishmael, 1 minute, okay? All right. So, page 10. This is the what is theme assignment. Ishmael, it is right in lesson 1.02. Go to assignments. What other questions do you have, guys? You can put them in. All right, Dylan, if you're good, fill out the form and have a great day. Emma, the page before this one. Okay, that is right. Emma, this is right from the lesson.